Patsy, Connie, and loudmouth Linda, keeping it real, no agenda. Satire, truth, and a whole lot of fun. Politics, crime, we get it all done. From breaking news to a joke or two, we do it our way just for you. We just can't make this stuff up. 1 year strong and we ain't gonna stop. Mic in hand, voices loud, shouting truth, making you proud.
Oh, hello, hello. It's me playing solo tonight. Linda's not feeling very good. She hasn't been feeling good for the last few days. And I had a bit of it yesterday, so that's why we didn't have one. Still feeling a little bit kind of nauseated, but you know what? I'm going to be okay. I had to come on and make sure did everyone get their package today? That's what I'm curious about. I hope everyone got their t-shirts. It's been kind of gloomy here, kind of rainy, a little bit of rain spitting here and there, but you know what? You don't cry about rain, right? Especially when it's as dry as it is here. So I'm a little happy that we're getting a little bit, not as much as y'all have gotten. I mean, yeah, you guys have gotten some really crazy rain. Hey, Norm, see that you're here. I hope you got your t-shirt and it fits. Not too big. So how was everybody's weekend? I have a lot of things to cover. I was telling Linda, I said, I think that we should do a customer service little deal on Mondays because, let me tell you, the customer service, it should be out there, Norm. Okay, well, it should be out there. Customer service, as of recently, has kind of fallen by the wayside, hasn't it? It's like get them in, get them out, herd them in, herd them out, like they do cattle. And a lot of times they're not really happy to be there, and they're being kind of nasty. And you go in there and sit down, and you kind of feel like you're a burden to them, or if they're checking you out, you're feeling like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should be checking myself out because, you guys are having a bad day and I'm making it worse or whatever. You always walk out of these stores feeling like that. And I want to tell you, we just got a brand new Olive Garden here, not too far from my house. And I'm telling you what, we had a waitress, and her name was Jalen, and she was amazing. So big shout out to Jalen. If she happens to see this show, you're amazing. And you make customer service what it's all about. She wasn't there bugging. She wanted to make sure that we got what we needed. And she was really good. And I think that a lot of times people who do good work don't ever get the credit. And so I am giving a big shout out, and I think that we should do that more often. I think whether it's good customer service or it's bad customer service, I think that we need to shout those people out. Let's see, what else can we... So this weekend was the Derby. I don't know how many people are big Derby fans, but we watched the race. That was exciting. Sovereignty won. Yeah, if you had money on it, wow, it was pretty good. But the thing that was amazing was it was a really, really muddy track. And my dad always said, bet on gray on a rainy day. So I picked the gray horse and lost. So that's not always the case, right? Never the case. Never in my case. But anyway, it was good. Hola. Oh, and you know what? Today is Happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone. Forgot about that. Yeah, last night I have to apologize to everybody. Thank you, Royal Apple. As bad as I feel, thank you. I was not going to let you down tonight. I know yesterday I was going to come on and I was going to be here. And guys, I just couldn't do it. My stomach was so upset. I was trying every way to muster through it and I just couldn't. And I thought, well, we'll just have to understand. I'll explain it tomorrow. I think it's some kind of bug that I picked up somewhere. My stomach's still a bit upset. I've been eating soda crackers and stuff, drinking a lot of water. I feel a little bit better, but my nose is still a little clogged and but life is good, right? Every day you wake up and you get to see the sunrise and you get to, well, if you get sunshine, because we didn't get any sunshine today, it was pretty cloudy, but to be able to wake up and look out the window, yeah, life is good. And I am very happy to be here. So, see, I don't know, man. Everybody's getting something. And I was kind of curious, and I know it's all conspiracy theory or whatever, but our mosquitoes are bad right now. They are so bad. And of course, they say, "What's up, Theodore?" They say that just drop a little tiny bit of water on the egg of a mosquito and they open their eyes. Hello, Sandra. That they open their eyes. And I don't know about everybody else, but the ones here are like helicopters. They're great big mosquitoes and they have no mercy and they bite and they leave big whelps and they're hungry. And yeah, spring pollen is here too. I think I'm feeling that also. So it's a lot. It's a lot of things all compiled into one. But so they've been spraying here at night, and of course, when it's so hot, your air conditioner's going, and I've been smelling it. It's that pesticide smell that you get from when you go to spray outside, spray the grass. I'm smelling that in my room. So kind of, conspiracy theory. Maybe that's what it is. That's what's making me sick, whatever. I don't know. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but blame it on that instead of the person at the grocery store who left their cooties on the cart. How about that? Does that sound better? I don't know, but I'm feeling a little bit better. It's always so good to be here with you guys. So, how was everybody else's weekend? Tell. How's the weather with everybody? I know that Oklahoma got some rain and stuff. It looks to me like hurricane season is getting ready to start. We've got a low that's supposed to come into the Gulf, or they think maybe come into the Gulf. I don't know. That'll be my next wonderful update. Are we going to get it? Is it our turn? Please no. Give it to someone else. I don't know. I know that sounds horrible. I shouldn't be like that. But how's everybody else feeling? Other than maybe a little runny nose, or that could be pollen, like Norm said. I sent out all this stuff. I wonder if I know that Norm should have his today. KMM should have hers. Sandra, you're okay there? Okay, good. I'm staying prayed up. Well, good. You know what? That's a good place to be. Always. That's the best place to be. You know what? That's all we can do. You know what? I think that when you pray to Jesus and you leave all of your troubles and concerns with him, you do feel better. I think Jesus, God, they always make us feel better. I mean, I don't think that he ever expected us to go through what we're going through. But it's all good because you know what? I told you it was going to get better. And I believe that with all my heart. I'm here to tell you it's going to get better. We're going to go through some rocky roads. That was already foreseen. I told y'all about prepping. We've been doing it for a year now. So, speaking of prepping, I Norm probably is familiar with it, but Clyde's conspiracy thing yesterday was pretty interesting. It was about Newman's motor. And I don't know if you're familiar with that or not, but there was a man, his last name was Newman, and he made the Newman motor, and it was all powered up by batteries, right? And he had tried to get the patent on it. I know we prep and re-prep all the time, always making sure. And so Newman had this patent on how to make this motor out of batteries, right? So that it would run on batteries. And he took it before the judge. The judge didn't know anything about that. And so he said, I got to send it to the physicists and everyone to make sure this really does what it says it's going to do. Well, they all checked it out and they all said, no, it does exactly what it said it's going to do. It runs the motor, everything. And the judge denied it. He spent every dime he had. He lost his wife. He got a divorce, lost his house, lost all the money he had fighting to get this patent. And at the end, this guy came up to him and said, why don't we put this motor, I'll fund it. Let's get a patent and put this motor in the home air conditioners, right? And by this time, this man was so angry and so mad that he was like, no, you don't understand. I want it in cars and you don't. And he just flew off the handle. Well, I was looking and it looks like to me like the Newman motor's been used for things recently. I'm like, well, who gets paid for that? Whoever brought it out, since he didn't get the patent. Yeah, see, isn't that kind of funny? It sounds to me like the big guys were holding him back and then they shelved it so that somebody else could do it. And that's sad. Or at least I find it to be sad. So we all know that something's something supernatural. Yes, it's truly, there you go. It's like truly need supernatural strength and push at this point. That's right. Always, Royal Apple, always. We've got to keep plugging. We've got to keep going because you know what? There's a good place at the end of this, and we will be in that good place. Not that we're going to die and go to heaven or anything, but when it ends and everything is all good, it's going to be amazing because we've gone through a lot. I mean, we're all going to die, right? But it's not going to be like we're not going to ascend into heaven right now, not at this point, because we got too much left of the Bible to go through. But we do prep and re-prep, and we wait, and the signs are here. We're gonna be okay. You know, we're gonna be all right. I'm not too worried. We're gonna be all right. So there's another thing I want to talk about that was going on today that I thought was pretty interesting in the news. Today was the day that they did the jury for Diddy. They're picking the jury for Diddy today. And I was listening to it and it got really interesting because, you know, you go through tons of people, right? All the interviews and, if we need to, we'll be feeding others. So they go through pretty rigorous interviews and stuff to be on the jury, right? And they ask you, are you prejudiced? Is there anything? Royal Apple, wait till you hear this. This is where you feel like the odds are stacked against you. Okay? So They were going through all the jury people, doing their interviews and everything. And one person that had the interview, was going through the interviews and everything, had done a documentary on Diddy Has Really Done It Now, or something like that. It was an HBO feature or something. Anyway, he had done Diddy Really Did It Now. And he was one of the people that they interviewed. Right? So the judge said, oh no, or not the judge, the defending attorney said, oh no, we can't have him because he's done this documentary and he's prejudiced against him and he's already got his mind made up. No, we can't have him. And the judge said, let it be. He can be on the jury if the prosecution wants him. How about that? Does that tell you that these judges they're done with all this playing games? Let's get it done. Let's get it over with. I'm sick of hearing about it. Let's hear the case. Let's see what's going on with it, and I think they had names. If you knew, I think Diddy was diddling a little bit with the wrong people. And I think Diddy had an association with the same people that Epstein had. You know what, Royal Apple? It hasn't. The fact that Epstein is still alive, it'll never come out. It's never going to come out. You go into witness protection program and they erase that you ever existed. I don't know. You got your notification late? I'm sorry. That's crazy. So you know what? When you go into the witness protection program for the government, they change your name. They change your name. They can surgically work on you where you don't look the same anymore. And you just disappear. You just become somebody else. And I think, Epstein had people in very high places. And I believe that they hid him out. That's my own personal thing. I think they got him out and dye his hair, make his nose a little bit longer, put a little bit of weight on him, grow him a mustache and a beard. I'm telling you, you can cover up and hide somebody. Tell him now that his name is not Jeffrey anymore. It's Thomas. I'm just throwing that name out there. And that's it. You know what, Royal Apple? That's the government thing, is the witness protection program. But who's to say that these people in high places can't do that, even with the people that don't need to be in the protection program, that they just want to hide out? I've been listening on this Bob Joyce for a few years now, and this man he swears it's Elvis. He swears it's Elvis. And he's like, well, if it's not Elvis, why did he sing the one song that he sang together with Lisa Marie at her funeral? And Bob Joyce sang it at her funeral. He never sang it again. Why is his right finger broken? Why is he why does he have the same size shoes? Why is his jawline the same? But you know what I find really interesting about the Bob Joyce thing is there's two Bob Joyces. There's Bob Joyce and Tom Joyce, or Bob Joyce and Matt Joyce is the son. I don't know, Seg. It's interesting because Elvis did turn state's evidence against the mafia. That's a proven fact. In fact, the kid to one of the fathers, hey KMM, you're fine. Um, the kid to one of those mob guys went to the church and talked to Bob Joyce, and he said, "Who are you? Are you really Elvis? Because you have exactly you walk the same, you talk the same, you present yourself the same." And he said, he didn't say, "No, I'm not Elvis." He said, "I am who I am," and left it at that. And that's what the guy, that's what this kid told this reporter. He said, "I don't know if it is or not. He won't come clean and tell anybody." Well, here, would you, if you turn state evidence against the mafia, would you come out at this age and say, "Yep, it's me"? And if it is really truly him, if Bob Joyce is truly Elvis, don't you think that we should just leave him alone? I mean, there's a reason that he got out of the limelight. And there's a reason that he just doesn't want to do this anymore. He doesn't want all the crowds and the Elvis could never leave and go anywhere. He couldn't do anything. And it's been a long time this guy's been around. You can see that this Bob Joyce has been around quite a while. I don't know. I don't know, but I do know that the man sounds just like him. I mean, you can hear people impersonate him, and they just don't. They're close, but just not quite him. And then you listen to Bob Joyce and you think, wow, if you close your eyes, you'd swear it was him. You would swear it was him. Now, whether it is or not, like I said, whether it is or not, that's one thing. But my thing is, if it is really true, leave him alone. Just leave him alone. He's doing what he's always wanted to do. He always wanted to preach and be close to the Lord, sing gospel music. If it's him, just leave him alone. He did what he was supposed to do for the government. He turned state's evidence. Be done with it. But they're not going to. They are going after this preacher. And right now he's had to build another church because the church has gotten so big with people going in that he doesn't have enough room. And now he has an overflow room in his new church that he just built that was an old barn. Well, right. I know you want DNA. And I don't think if this really is truly Elvis, do you think that he wants you to know that it's him? I don't think he does. Right. You know what, Cayman? That's exactly the way I feel about it. Let it go. Let it go. Let him do what he wants to do. He's happy. He's one of the most impersonated singers. I wish his daughter was still alive. I think the mom is a bad apple. I don't know, but I know that the granddaughter has came out and said that they hid a lot of stuff. And, no one has ever said that this Bob Joyce is really him, but they've hinted around to it. His daughter. Yep, that his granddaughter, her. She said, we lied. We lied about everything. Now, but the funny thing is when she said we lied, they're not telling you what she lied about. She won't say, hey, you know what? We lied. This man really is my grandfather. They just don't tell you what she just said we lied. And that's it. I mean, we lied, and my mom and my grandma lied. And it's like, well, what did they lie about? Well, she won't go into it. So I don't know. But I do know that, like I said, I'm with KMM and a lot of other people. If it's him, let him be. Right? His granddaughter does live in Graceland now, and I don't know how many people have ever visited Graceland, but they say that you cannot go upstairs in Graceland because somebody apparently lives up there. Now that's all conspiracy. Somebody's saying, who knows? Who knows? You know, I I have speculation there. Yeah, she did die of a broken heart from her son. And then everyone knows that Priscilla is a member of the Scientology group. And I don't know how familiar everybody is with Scientology, but Scientology believes that we're all nothing but a meat sack, basically. This is what L. Ron Hubbard taught everyone, that we're all nothing but a meat sack. And once you die, you just basically shed the body and go into another body. So these babies are really people that could be 200 or 300 years old. This is what they believe, guys. I'm not joking with you. This is really what they believe. They don't believe you ever, never die. Um, I don't believe that. I don't believe that a 200-year-old person goes into a brand new baby. Now, I think maybe I kind of teeter totter about reincarnation, but I think you go through the whole age span in reincarnation. I don't think you're 200 years old in a baby's body, because if that's the case, you got to go through retraining them all over again. If they were 200 years old, they'd be already walking and talking, right? You wouldn't have to train them. Priscilla has been making 1 million per year from the estate and full. Yep, full. Yep. You know, and she's, what is she funding her other son's drug habit? Well, like I said, she's a part of Scientology, and I can guarantee you she's spending a lot of money in the group of Scientology. Sorry, guys. Missy wanted to come say hello. Hi, Missy. Um, Scientology is a different type of religion. I mean, anyone that founded, yeah, well, kind of basically came in. I mean, they believe that we came from aliens. Yep, and they believe that we'll and the mothership and all that kind of stuff. But here's my thing about Scientology. Everyone knows who Aleister Crowley is, right? Well, Aleister Crowley was L. Ron Hubbard's mentor. So if that tells you anything at all about Scientology, he sat and he made up things and told things. You know, they don't even read the Bible. Scientology doesn't even read the Bible. They read what L. Ron Hubbard wrote. So it's not even a religion. It's actually more of an occult, you know, because David Koresh never read from the Bible either. He told everybody, or Jim Jones, he told everybody he was Jesus reincarnated. You know, I mean, these people come, and how it's the charisma these people have. Because I'm just like, geez, Louise, who follows stuff like that? But I guess once you get in there and you get all crazy and all wound up in it, and I guess that's, they say things that you want to hear. I don't know, but the Moonies were like that too. Reverend Moon never ate off the same golden plate more than once. You know, this is how much money the Unification Church would make while these kids sat on the street corners and sold flowers for him and made all this kind of money for Reverend Moon. He had so much money, he ate off golden plates, and he never ate off of the same one twice. That's crazy. That's not religion. That's insanity. In my opinion. I mean, that's the way I feel about it. KMM, I got to ask you, did you get your t-shirt today? Royal Apple, you'll get yours tomorrow. You should have your package tomorrow. They, for some reason, California was a day later. I didn't understand it. And Seg, you really believe that? Why would you say that? Tell me why you say that the Trump supporters are in a cult. I would like you to explain that to me. And I want a real good answer, not just because they do whatever he says. I want to know why you feel like Trump supporters are in a cult. Because you know what? The left wing did exactly, they supported Biden even though he was falling down the stairs and didn't know his name. You're welcome. I'm glad you like it. So tell me, Seg, why do you believe Trump supporters are a cult? We don't worship him. We just think that there's a better thing, that he's going to lead our country into a better. It's not like I'm expecting that he's going to raise the sun for me or bring the moon out that night for me. I just support a lot of the things. Oh, they're the new left. Really? Okay, so why do you feel like Trump supporters are the new left? Is it because you belong to the Democratic Party and you believe that Kamala Harris could have ran our country better? Is that what you feel? Just curious. Because I am a Trump supporter and I don't find myself to be in a cult. And I don't worship the man. I just think that America needed to be turned around. And I think that we have given to other countries when we should have taken care of our own. And you know, the first thing in life is if you don't take care of yourself, you too will need help before too long. She did run. Kamala Harris ran for president. She certainly did. She ran against Trump. Yeah, she did. I'm not going to argue about it. I'm just going to tell you, believe the way you want to believe. You know, believe the way you want to believe. If you want to believe that I think you're right. Donna, you're absolutely right. Speaking of you, how are you doing, my friend? I've had you in my prayers. And did you get your shirt? Just curious. I was insulted the way she spoke to the public because you know what? I am not in the first grade and I don't need to be talked to like I am. And she did. She had a tendency to talk down to people. And I just didn't find her to be very. I can't see Seg's post, but I have a question. Who does he see leading the Democrats? Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you this about that. I'm going to tell you that I don't know why you can't see him. Let's see. Should be able to see what he's saying. Anyway, or she. I'm going to tell you. Oh, you think Trump's running the Democrat Party? I don't think so. On the list, the new list that came out, Epstein's list, guess who was on there? Omar. She has you blocked. Let me see. I don't think so. Let me. You know what, KMM? You can look in there because you are. Nope. See. Nope. I never blocked you, Seg. You can look into it, KMM, and see if they're blocked. I see it in the channel. I see the chat in the channel. Good. Sick as a dog. Thank you for prayers. I don't know. I may be today. Travis will bring it in after going to Tristan's track meet. Well, I hope you're feeling better, Donna. I didn't get on Sunday because I was so nauseated and having it was like hot and cold spells, and I was coughing and hacking. But I got up today and said, by golly, if I'm going to get on, whether I sit here and sweat in front of you, I'm going to get on. Yeah, see, you can see. No, you're not blocked, Seg. You can say whatever you want to. If you think that Bernie Sanders should be the next president of the United States and we can all go back to the future with his flux capacitor, that's just great. You can believe whatever you want to. That's the beauty of being in America. Just be careful. No. KMM. Omar, Ilhan Omar. He don't run the world. You know better than that. Ilhan Omar was on the Epstein list. How about that one? On the new Epstein list that was let out, she's on that list. Of course, that doesn't surprise me any. She married her brother and her boyfriend and her brother again, or whatever it was. Her boyfriend and her brother. Yeah, I mean, come on. She married a guy, brought him here, and was married to him for a little while, divorced him, went back, married her brother so she could bring him back here, stayed married to him for just a little while, and divorced him and married her boyfriend again. Oh, you like Alex? Oh, you like AOC? Be careful what you ask for. That's all I got to say. I'm not. There's other people in the Democratic Party that is by far better than AOC. But you know what? That's your opinion, and I have my opinion, and we'll just see. All I know is the United States needs to be turned around. That's what I know. And we need to have it on an even playing field. Don't pay extra money to another country just because. Name 3 that are better than AOC in the Democratic Party. Let me think about it. I mean, as much as I can't stand Chuck Schumer, I'd rather have Chuck Schumer than AOC. Oh, I know. She's the one that wants to get rid of all the cows because they fart too much and the gases are deadly. Okay, well, you know, I don't think God made an animal to gas us off the planet. All right, let's get real. I just, you know, I think that. Well, Bernie doesn't. Bernie, you know, here's my thing. Don't you think that we need a little young blood in there? I mean, yeah, okay, Trump's up there. How about, what do you guys think about Eric Trump? How about that? What do you think about Eric Trump? Eric Trump is a devout Christian. His wife is a devout Christian. He's run a multi-million-dollar business. I like Eric too. What do you think of Eric, Seg? I know you don't like Donald, but what about Eric? He's younger. He's young blood. I mean, I like Eric and I like Laura, and I think they're bringing their kids up right, and they have Christian values. And Eric has ran the business while his dad was in office the last 4 years, so I think he knows. He's a fake Jew. No, he's not. Okay. All right. Well, keep listening to the media. I think you should investigate for yourself. He's non-denominational, but you know what? You can believe whatever you want to. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not here to argue with anybody. I think it's, go get him. Go get him. I think that, I think we need a little more Christian values in our country. How about that? Why don't we add that in there? Because we sure have strayed away from them. I like Eric. And I like Laura. I think they're amazing. Clyde just got home. So, I mean, out of the two boys, I definitely like Eric better than Donald. Not too crazy about Donald, but I mean, it is what it is when you come over here.
Did I leave that in the dryer?
Yes, you did, and I took it out.
God, I did that the second time I done.
It's all right.
Who's in here?
Just me
Just you?
and everybody.
Oh, I'm fading away.
I know. You better. I'll quit moving.
Hello, everybody.
If I don't move, Clyde stays stationary. See, watch. If I don't move, see.
I can. I'm like a ghost.
Here, let's see. Is that better?
There we go.
Okay, now I can't move because if I move, he'll go out of focus.
So what are you guys talking about?
Oh, we were talking about Seg thinks that AOC would be a better president
Then who?
than Trump.
Oh,
But
man, he's nuts.
but that's okay. I mean, they're allowed to think however they want to. So let's talk about the next president that runs. What do you think about Eric? Trump. Yeah,
I'm disappearing.
I know because I'm moving. Sorry. I'll quit moving. I don't get here.
Okay, there's he right there.
Okay.
Lean forward. Okay, okay, just stay right there. Don't move. Just kidding.
You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I usually don't do this, but we're doing this tonight. I am not going to go there. Here. All right, guys. We're going to do it this way because then Clyde doesn't fade away. All right. We were talking about Eric Trump and Laura.
Doing what?
Well, Eric wants to run for the next presidency.
Does he?
Yeah.
That's.
I don't think, I mean, I like Eric. The green looks good. Well, it's my green screen, and yeah, when two people get in here, and I have a tendency to move a little bit too much, it'll knock Clyde out of the picture. So it's like, well, okay, so I'll just stop that wonderful virtual background, and he can be on here without having to fade away. I was telling everybody about the Newman motor.
Mm-hmm.
You want to explain that?
It's really above my pay grade.
Okay.
But it's perpetual motion. I mean, it basically runs on magnets. And
what they do to him?
Oh shoot, they basically bankrupt him. He was actually an inventor. His first invention was back in 1961, and he was the one who invented the dumbbells that had the plastic covering around the weight. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I mean, he already had money. I mean, he already had inventions. He had patents on a bunch of stuff, and he worked 13. I think I said 13 years. He was working on this motor, and had a prototype of it, and it ran. It had a higher output than it had an input, and according to the laws of physics, that's impossible. And they kept saying, "What's your power source?" And the power source was the magnets that were perpetually running this machine.
Mm-hmm.
And they could not believe it. All the machines they hooked up to it, it did exactly what he said it did. Tried to go for a patent, and the patent office said, no, we're not giving you a patent for this. And they ended up fighting it in the courts for, I don't know, 10 years or so, bankrupt the guy. And he just went nuts. He absolutely went crazy, lost his wife, lost his kids. He ended up moving in with some guy that ended up spending a lot of money trying to support him in what he was doing. But I mean, he just became an angry old man. And he just got tired of the fighting with the government. And the judges were as crooked as all get out. And I mean, it was just terrible. And this, he put in for his first patent in '83 on this motor.
And don't you think they're using the motor now?
Somebody's got it, because he's passed away. Somebody's got the schematics to it.
See, you know what? It's amazing. My father used to do some really crazy things.
I mean, it was just,
He used to do some really, really crazy things. And he told me one time he was sitting there because he had gotten too big for his pants. And he said, you know what? I am going to invent this. And he had taken a rubber band and hooked it to a paper clip. And he put the rubber band around the button and hooked the paper clip to where the buttonhole was. And he said, you know what? I'm going to patent this. Because you know what? This is a great invention. And you know, it wasn't too long ago I saw where somebody had that out. So, you know what? Sorry, Dad, someone already thought about it.
it's just that, with this Newman guy, the powers that may be in our government is just corrupt. And it's whether it's the government or the big money that backs them, the big oil, just sinks them. They can't afford to fight 10, 15 years against the lawyers in Washington and the powers that are there. They just can't. And the funny part, I'm watching that documentary, was the judge didn't know anything about electronics and physics and stuff like that. So he hired, and they've got the right to hire a special person that understands it, so he can make a ruling on it and take it back to the judge and say, yes, you should do this. And he came back with all this things saying, yes, this motor does exactly what it says it does. And he recommends that he should get the patent. And the judge just turned around and denied it. And he wouldn't even, he didn't believe what his special person that he hired. And so it's not just him. It couldn't have been the judge. It was the people that were backing the judge. And if that's how our government is, fuck them all. Excuse me, I'm sorry, but that's how it gets. I mean, there's nothing nice about it. I mean, shit, they're just as corrupt as can be.
Well, they keep suppressing us. They do. Well, but you know what, guys? I'm going to be honest with you. When I was watching today, they did the selection for the Diddy trial. And by the way, the Diddy trial will be this month. Right on, bro. The Diddy trial is going to be on the 12th. It's going to start on the 12th.
12th of what?
Of this month.
Okay.
Because they're picking the jury right now.
We have to listen to that for the next month.
Well, probably, but I'm going to go live on a few of them. I know that I don't think they're going to allow.
They're not going to televise.
They're not going to televise it, but we may go live on, because that everyone's going to be out front and see what we can hear. Go, we'll figure it out. But I was telling everybody, the judge, one of the people on the jury did I think it was HBO documentary, The Downfall of Diddy. It was he was a journalist, and he did a documentary that was called The Downfall of Diddy. And the defense attorney said, oh no, he can't be on the jury. He's prejudiced against it. He knows too much. And the judge said, I'll allow it. I'll allow him. And I thought, okay, well, we can see right now that Diddy's probably not going to get a fair trial,
Probably not.
because they're just done messing with it.
I mean, I
They're
guess-
done messing with all of it. Here's my thing. When they were picking out the jury, do you think for 1 second they were going to find anybody they didn't know anything about the trial in the first place? They would have had to lived on the moon or been 100 years old.
Just somebody that doesn't pay attention to the news or
Well, and
gives
I
a
don't know.
crap about Diddy.
Well, and even somebody who doesn't pay attention to the news is going to be talking to whoever doesn't pay attention. The one that is paying attention is going to be telling the one that it doesn't pay attention. You know what? I have the Karen Reed trial. That's another one. I've watched a little bit of that. That's insanity too. And not only I want to keep up on this Carmelo Anthony trial. That's going to be another one that I'd like to go live with you guys and watch. So, yeah, we've got some stuff coming up that I'd like to go live. We'll see what all we're going to get from Diddy next week. But they're doing it. I mean, it's going to, and the list of people, they said they brought up LeBron James. They brought up Michael B. Jordan or something, the son. They brought up Kanye West. And the jury was supposed to say, no, they didn't know him or they didn't have whatever they.
So these going to be people they're calling to stand?
I don't know if they're the witnesses or they're on the defense. But either way, yeah, probably they're going to be witnesses of some sort. And they wanted to know how they felt about it and all this kind of stuff.
So they'll be hooked up to a lie detector while they're testifying.
Well, are you going to bring in Snoop Dogg, and are you going to bring in Justin Bieber, and are you going to bring in what's that other guy that has the hair that looks like buckwheat?
I don't know.
That's married to Beyonce. See, I don't know about all those guys. I don't listen too much to them. But I mean, you would have had to live under a rock not to know these people. And you definitely had to live under a rock to not know Diddy, right? Jay-Z, thank you, KMM. And KMM comes to the rescue. Yeah, I mean, is he going to testify too? I mean, it's going to be interesting on who all's going to testify, what's going to be said, and will Diddy throw them under the bus? What do y'all think? It's going to be worth the watch. I mean, this is a big one. They're saying that this one isn't as big as the OJ trial, and I have a tendency to feel a little different about that because this one could take down the music industry. So, I don't know. I'd love to know your guys' and Hollywood. This is true, and Hollywood. Well, see, KMM, you know what? Kanye turned crazy when he was with Kim Kardashian. Something all of a sudden went off on him, and that's when he was going to run for president. Remember, he just all of a sudden just wigged out Kanye West, and they named their kid North and Northwest and Southwest or something crazy. It's insane. It's insane, but it's definitely going to be interesting to watch. It'll be interesting, and who gets called and what gets said, and there'll be people in the trial because they're not going to have any cameras in there. We're not going to be able to see it live, but they'll have people that were in there live that'll come out, reporters that'll come out and be able to talk about it and what was said and stuff. So we'll get what we can on there when it comes live, and we'll go live and discuss it and talk about what you think because. It's gonna be interesting. If you think the Karen Reed trial is going to be interesting, this one's going to be really interesting. And I'll tell you another one is going to be that Carmelo Anthony trial. I know that's Benny. That's Benny. That's Benny. This one, look, this one, Misty. She's like, look. I don't want, you know what? I just want to sit in your lap. That's all I want to do. Benny Blanco. That's my Benny. That's my Benny. And then Missy, she just wants to sit in your lap and just wants you to sit here and pet her all night long. So, yeah. Hey, Woofy, it's good to see you. Did you get your t-shirt? Just curious. I did not sleep with Selena. What? I did not sleep with Selena's friend. You know what? That was another story. They wanted to put her statue out in the Gulf. They thought, and the church got mad and said, "Look, we wanted to put Jesus in the Gulf, and you wouldn't let us do that. We're not putting Selena there." You're so welcome. I hope it fit. Hope everything's good. Um, yeah, so that Selena thing. That's another crazy thing. You know, Yolanda was up to be let out, and
Nope.
nope. They won't. You know what? It's at the point now that they won't let her out for her own safety. Seriously. It's maybe she's changed, maybe she's rehabilitated, and maybe she could be a good part of society right now, but they won't let her out because it's safer for her to be where she's at right now than to be out on the streets. The people here would love for her to be let out. And she wouldn't make it very long. I'm telling you right now, she wouldn't make it very long. So going back to what I said, we'll see what we can do as far as the Diddy trial, because I'm curious. It was interesting. I watched a little bit of that today, but I got to tell you guys, I am so hooked. I don't know if you ever seen it, but I am so hooked on the series Ghosts. It's my son told me to watch it, and I have been binging it today because it's really funny. The girl, I'll tell you a little bit about it. The girl, it's on Paramount. The lady falls down the stairs. She gets this mansion, and it was given to her. It was willed down to her. So she talks her husband into going in, and she said, "Let's make it a bed and breakfast." So they're all excited about it, and she's going to take this whole mansion and get it all decked out and everything. And one of the ghosts knocks a vase off of the stand next to the staircase, and she tripped on it and fell down the stairs and knocked her head into the wall. And so she was in the hospital. When she came around, she saw everyone that was in there that had died. And she could talk to them and everything. And yeah, it's really funny. I don't want to tell you too much about it. It's called Ghosts. No, it like Beetlejuice. It's kind of like that, but it's a series on Paramount, and it's called CBS. Ghosts. CBS. Mm-hmm. But or you can. Oh no, Woofy! It is so funny. You got to watch it. It's so funny. These guys are so funny. One's a Viking, and one is a lady, the great grandmother that owned the house, and one guy is, I don't know where he came from, but he's during that same time as the great grandma. And then
there's an Indian.
There's an Indian on there that he
hippie.
and a hippie. I mean, you guys need to watch it. It's a riot. I'm telling you. I sit here and laugh about it. She is so busy taking care of them, but then they end up helping her out of situations. If you get a chance, you need to see it. I'm like I said, I've been binge watching it between that and seeing what's going to go on with the Diddy trial. So yeah. I even put the Diddy trial on pause to find out, because I was like, I want to know what's going on Ghosts. This is how it's hooked me. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
It is crazy, my love. It is very crazy, and I have to catch you up on what's going on because I've watched about 15 episodes. Anyway, it's about that time, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow. It's great seeing you all. I hope you had a great weekend.
Then it's going to be tomorrow? Or?
I hope so. Say a prayer for Linda. Hope she gets to feeling better. Hopefully she'll be with us tomorrow. And click like on your way out the door, and we'll see you tomorrow.
And more.
And
Ghost,
more. And more. All right, guys. And more, yeah, and more ghost episodes tomorrow. All right. See ya.
From shady news to crime so rough, you already know we just can't make this stuff